Why don't we go next to Cole from Alaska? Cole from Alaska, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Hello, this is Cole from Alaska.
Yes, welcome.
Um, so, David, did so, um, so, why do you think? Why do you think people think the economy is bad right now, despite the economy being good? And why do you think the Democrats have been unable to brag about the economy?
Great question. Two reasons I believe right now public sentiment about the economy doesn't match the statistical reality about the economy. Number one, Republicans have made a concerted effort to insist that the economy is a disaster when it's not. And to some degree, the propaganda of Republicans works. So that's one part of the answer, Cole. The second part of the answer is I don't think that the Biden administration and Democrats more broadly have done a good enough job of communicating the state of the economy. And then, sort of, a number three is there is a lag time sometimes between when we see something in indicators and when we see it reflected in polling. And so, even though I would assess that it's now been 7, 8 months that the economy has been really solid, we only started to see polling move in the last 3 months. So I do think, Cole, that people are realizing it, but it's on a delay. So I think those are the three critical aspects for answering that question.
Yeah. Also, you know, I do think by November, I do think Biden will 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 probably end up winning this election, partly because of the incumbency, but
Mm-hmm.
also because the economy is stable right now. And I think um, also I think people will care about other issues by the time the election rolls around.
Yeah, I mean, big picture, Cole, when the economy is as it is today on election days, the incumbent president tends, not always, tends to get reelected. So, Cole from Alaska, I agree with you 100%. I really appreciate the call. Why don't we go next to Lara from Arizona? Lara from Arizona, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
I'd like to discuss a solution to your Facebook problem, if that's okay.
Lara, I can barely hear you.
Oh,
We have you
can
turned
you?
all the way up.
Oh,
You're
okay.
barely audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I would like to discuss a solution to your Facebook problem.
Well, it's almost solved. We're 90% of the way there,
Oh,
fortunately, by the
no,
grace of
no.
God.
I'm
But what
I'm
was your
actually
suggestion?
talking about a solution, not just for you, but for everybody. And it's something that people are starting to stand up for again. Unions. You should start a union, a journalism union.
Right. And
One.
then how? So I'm not employed by Facebook. I just publish content there. Tell me, if I start a journalism union, how does that force Facebook to unshadow ban me?
Okay, it's a long-term solution. What it is I see this problem with a lot of independent stations, media networks, journalists. I mean, it's not just you, it's a lot of people across the world. And
Right.
the thing is on your own, you're not able to stand up to the big guys.
Right.
I see it time and time again. It's not just you. If you guys actually united together, you, Midas Touch, Luke Beasley, all the other ones, if you guys created a union in which independent journalists could join, pay monthly dues, you could pool in for your own legal team. That way you
Ah.
could work
And then it
against the
is the
big guys.
legal team that might be able to help us deal with Facebook in a more direct way.
Yes, on
That's
your
an
own.
interesting idea.
You can't do it on your own. It's too
Right.
costly for one network. But together, if everybody just joined, you would be able to make a platform equal to CNN, Fox, any of them. And I promise that would happen. Unions are a strong solution everybody needs to look at right now.
Now, Lara, I'm curious. Imagine that we make this union. Are there any limits to who can join, in the sense that if you have one follower on YouTube and you can join, you're going to end up with what, hundreds of thousands of people in the union, and thus the legal capacity would be very watered down, right? So it would probably need to be for creators at or above a certain level. Is that right?
I mean, generally speaking, I would imagine you would have to, of course, pay union dues.
Yep.
So the creator would have to pay. They would have to abide by ethics codes that
Right.
you would set up as a hard part of the union. If they can't stick with those ethical codes, they could have their membership revoked.
Right. And
you know, you-
presumably the fact that dues are part of it would self-select out those who are such small creators that they can't afford the dues. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it would just would be.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got to do what you got to do. If
Yeah.
you can build a following, if you can prove your journalistic honesty, I mean, actually, even at that end, you're unlikely to run into too many legal problems at that level. But if you are able to get to the point where you can really launch yourself out there, then that's the time to step up. I mean, if you're just a single person just starting out right now, there's
Yep.
no reason for it. But big networks like you, or growing networks of 500,000 subscribers or more, if you guys just work together, you would be able to stand up for yourselves. I'm watching you guys struggle. I mean, in all honesty, I'm working on an amendment to the Constitution, and the press is just core to the amendment, fixing the situation with dishonesty. I don't
Right.
believe a free press can be an employed press. I
Mm.
know, and believe me, there's a method to that madness I could not possibly go into.
Right.
But there is a way to free the press from the madness of the employer.
Right. All right. Well, Lara, I really appreciate the idea. It's an interesting one, and we'll keep everybody posted about what's going on with Facebook.
Hey, I think you're the man for the job, okay? I think you could do it, Dave.
All right.
Please.
Lara, thank you. Lara from Arizona, very, very impressive idea. I like it. I have to say, I like it. Let's go to Roberto from Italy. Roberto from Italy, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today, sir? And Roberto from Italy drops off. What a shame. Let's go to Gerald from Miami. Gerald from Miami, welcome to the program.
Hello? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
you're on the air.
Okay. Hey, David. Long-time listener. I actually don't have a question today, but I actually want to tell you a funny story. I have a friend of mine that's a big Trump supporter, I should say.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So I have a friend of mine. He's a big time Trump supporter. He's actually been making some pretty big moves in the sort of Republican spheres and stuff. And he told me a story. So he said he got invited to Trump's inauguration, the second one. And
Hold on a second. What inauguration?
I'm sorry, I misspoke. His presidential announcement.
Oh, okay.
Announcement of his candidacy. Excuse me. He told me that he, through some connections he had made, he ended up in the circles with like the $1 million donors and above.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me he was just networking, talking to a guy, and he had commented on a guy's suit that he was wearing. And the guy said, "Yeah, I had it specially made for this event." And then the guy opened up his jacket, and the entire inside of the jacket was lined with photos of Trump. He said when Trump came out on stage, all of these multimillionaires, he said they just melted into little girls and they just started just screaming.
They were fangirling?
They turned into complete fangirls. I thought it was hilarious.
Now, why were they fangirls and not fanboys?
I guess, it is 2024. I don't discriminate. They're fanboys.
Yeah. Well,
But
listen, it's an incredible situation, Gerald. I was just down in Miami. Think that, I really like it down there, but then when I'm there for a little while, I go, wow, the infrastructure in Florida is really a nightmare. But it's a great city in a lot of ways.
yes, yeah, I truthfully, I'm not in Miami currently. I'm
Oh,
actually a student in New York. I'm from Miami, so that's kind of
gotcha.
what I rep. But I don't plan on going back.
Fair,
Even my
fair,
dad
fair, fair.
tells me not to go back. It's kind of crazy down
All
there.
right. All right,
But anyway,
Gerald. Well, very interesting story. I appreciate it.
yeah, see you later.
All right. There is Gerald from Miami. If you're holding on to talk to me, just wait a second. We're going to take the quickest of breaks, and then we'll be right back with more calls. I'm very particular about my coffee, and our sponsor, Trade Coffee, helps you do more in 2024. If you're like me, coffee might be part of your routine, maybe a factor in your productivity. Check out Trade as your destination for better coffee at home. Subscribe to Trade and start the year with amazing coffee. You'll discover new favorites. You'll support more than 55 local roasters across the country, and you will upgrade your morning. And the best part is you can personalize all of it, from the type of coffee you get, how often you get it delivered. They have decaf if that's your preference. I recently got Orange Colombian from New York, sweet and inviting, full-bodied notes of pine. I actually love pine. Who knew? Pine is great. Every time I get a new shipment from Trade, the quality and the taste is top-notch. The convenience it's just great. The coffee comes to my door instead of having to go find them. Whether you already know what you like or you're new to specialty coffee and want some help, Trade just makes it easy to discover new coffees you will like. Jumpstart the year. Sign up for a Trade subscription. Right now, Trade is offering a free bag with select subscription plans when you visit drinktrade.com/Pacman. The link is down below.